Morning, guys. So happy Monday to you. Happy new week. Pardon for my absence last week. I was on the road and it was almost impossible for me to get any decent connection to even update my to update the channel to send out the daily outlook videos and any of that. So my sincerest apologies. Would do better next time. But last week I was off the market, so I felt it would be a bit hypocritical for me to come and talk about the market when I'm not like focused on it at the moment, right? But we're back again. It's a new week. We're back stronger. We have 2 weeks until the end of the year, so let's try to end the year strong and see what we can do. First of all, this week, keep in mind we have a lot of news coming up, so we might see some slower price action right at the start of the day, moving toward later towards the week. Maybe by tomorrow or Wednesday, we start to see some liquidity coming into the market. So keep that in mind while we trade this week. So for Euro USD, guys, as we know, as I've been mentioning for quite some time now, we have swing wise we're in an uptrend, right? And then fractal wise we're also bullish. So here is our swing, right? We have a low, push up, right? And then we have a push down, and then we have this push up, right? So these are swing low right here, and then these are swing high. Now we had this retracement into this discounted prices where we took out all of this liquidity to our left, and then we started to push up from there, right? So let's see if we can keep pushing up this week, as we've now pushed into this high, grabbed all of this liquidity, and we still have this as a strong high, right? Because this was the high that took out all of this area, right? So this is quite nice to see. It's a beautiful price action, as we have also the 3 monthly open just resting above here. So we've taken out rather all of this liquidity from last week. And now for me, let me delete this was just me playing with the market. So now for me, all I'm looking for right now is, okay, I want to see one of two things, right? We're at the quarterly open, and it's possible from here we start to sell, because if we look to our left, you can see there's a nice area of supply. Why? It's a consolidation. We took out liquidity, we broke structure, so it's quite strong. So we could start selling from here. It's a strong possibility. Keep that in mind as we trade. But looking at the immediate price action, you can see we're bullish, right? The immediate price action is bullish. So I would be favoring longs first before thinking of shorts, right? And we have this liquidity above that we can still come and grab. And so if we have that consolidation, then that breakout, right? So we can have something of this sort, like a 1 2 3 pattern forming, right? And then we swipe the low, use this as our support, and then we start to sell from there. We start to buy from there rather. Or reverse is the case, where we have the swipe of the high, right? And then boom, boom, and then we start to sell from there. So those would be my two options that I'm looking at for the week. But anyway it plays out, this will be an important zone. Why? Because we've grabbed all of this liquidity and then we've pushed up. And if you look at it from the fundamental point of view, last week we had a big dump on tech stock and things like that on Friday. So investors are moving into a risk off sentiment, and to end the year also, nobody wants to lose that much, right? So we're moving into a risk off sentiment, and that could mean strength for the dollar, strength for the Japanese yen, and things like that, right? So if you're having strength for the dollar, it's going to mean weakness for Euro USD. So if you look at DXY index, the dollar index, you can see with the dollar index, right? You can see now we've been selling off, right? As we've talked about this, we had this beautiful consolidation. This one, two, right, three pattern, right, and then we took out this liquidity, right, we took out all of these lows, and then we tested this strong area of demand, right. This was the third fake out. We didn't need to come back to this low, right. You have this one, two, and then the fake out, and then we started to push up from there, and now we broke out of this descending price action. Now once we broke out of this descending price action, this descending flag, right, it's all about, okay, now I'm looking for more longs, right. And now we've come into here, we've taken out all of this liquidity low, approaching this strong demand area right here, which we have the quarterly open resting right there. So for me, from here, from this zone, if we see that change of character, we could start looking for those longs, right, for those dollar longs, right. It's quite fine for me as we've swept all of these lows, right. We've swept all of these lows to our left, and we have this quarterly open. So maybe we get one more swipe down, that change of character, and then from there we could start looking for those dollar longs, which would coincide with euro USD shorts. So that's what I'll be looking for this week. Although yes, we could have more short position if we don't get that confirmation, as our immediate order flow is short. If we don't get that confirmation, we just wait for it to sell off, and we find that entry on liquidation, right. We find that entry on liquidity grab, and then we could look for a new position, right. So if we grab liquidity above this high or above this high, right, we could look for those new positions that we could take in. For GU, guys, I've been talking about this, about selling this, right. So you can see we're bearish, right. The other flow is bearish to the downside. So, and then fundamentally pound is also bearish, right. So you don't want to be in buys in this, right. Your fundamentals, your technicals, they're all screaming sell. So please don't buy this, please. And it might work out if you do, but please, like, follow the rules at least, right. And then if we look, let's just do, let me clear this up a little bit, and then we'll talk about GU. And all right, so you can see, right, we have this quarterly open right here that we've approached. And what do we also have? We have this area of supply, right, which can act to push the market downward and continue our bearish leg. As you can see, we've made that retracement into, we've grabbed this liquidity, we've grabbed here, we've made that deep retracement into premium pricing, which is beautiful for a sell, as you want to be selling from the premium and be buying at a discount. Okay, so for me, it's all about, what do we wait for? We've seen liquidity grab, we have our market structure, we have our fractal structure, right. We have our fractal structure break here, right, to the downside. So let's see, I want to see perhaps a double fractal structure break. I want to see a double fractal structure break. As now our fractal low, our fractal high, I want to see this one gets taken, right. So probably going to signify, okay, that we have bears coming into the market now, something like this. And then, because if not, we could just see that this is just liquidity grab, and then we see that next push up into this 3 monthly open, and then maybe from there we take out the early sellers, and then we start to sell from there rather. But I'm more interested in shorts on this than longs, because fundamentally the pound is bearish, and technical wise the pound, it's also looking beautiful for a sell. So not looking to buy this at the moment. Okay, guys, as you can see, we also have this beautiful strong area of supply. We grab liquidity to our left, right. We grab this liquidity, and then we broke structure. So it's quite nice to sell from here. So let's just be patient and keep that in mind. With NU, guys, we've been talking about buys on this all, I think, for about 2 weeks now. Since last month, rather, I said 2 weeks. Since last month, for a month now, I've been talking about buys from this yearly open. Beautiful, beautiful. If you took advantage of this price action of this pair, now we've taken this liquidity here, we've taken this liquidity here. Okay, Now for me, I would be interested in sales, right? Because of where we are. We're at the quarterly open, and then we're at the strong area of supply, and we've made deep retracement. Okay, and this is our swing high, this is our swing low. So we're also at premium pricing, right? So for me, it's all about, okay, I'm looking for that change of character, which we've seen here, right? So you can see right here, we had this push up, right? Push down, push up, and then push down, right? From here, boom, you can start looking for those shorts into the downside. As with NU, we're still, if you look at this price action, we're still bearish, right? We're still bearish with this price action. So you don't want to be in buys at this level. You want to be in buys from here, not from here. You want to be cautious, right? If you're looking for buys on this thing. But right now I'm looking for sells because of the price action. So and the only reason why I won't be getting into this now is because the dollar is not quite ready. So that's what I use. Like, that's also my other piece of confidence. The dollar has to be ready for me to consider taking pairs that are USD, whatever, XSS, USD, anything, right? Dollar has to be ready, right? So if we move on to AU, it's quite similar at the moment, but with AU, remember, our swing is still bullish, right? While with NU, we're more bearish. With AU, our swing is still bullish because our swing low, this is our swing high, right? And then we trace into discount pricing, took out all of this liquidity, and you see since then I called it, we've been pushing up from there, similar to NU. Now we've grabbed all of this liquidity into the strong supply zone. Let's see what happens from here, right? If we want to start selling, what do we need to wait for? Change of character, right? We need to wait for that change of character. As you can see, we're already consolidating, making this ascending price action. So that could signal a reversal, right? This could signal a reversal. Once we're making this sort of price action, it could signal a reversal or just a slowdown for a continuation. So keep that in mind. The reversal would probably come this way, right? And then you could start looking for those scaling in and to take it to a new low. Okay, as we have all of these open areas of liquidity that we haven't taken. Okay, that could be our target. With USD CHF, guys, classic range play, classic range play. If you've been here since last week, right? If you've been here since last month, you know I've been calling this. I've been calling this from the 0.75 to the bottom. We got it from 0.75, we got it to 0.25. Now what do we want? We want to take it from 0.25 back to 0.75. I just love range plays, guys. They give you quick 1 to 2, 1 to 3, easy money. Don't leave money on the table, guys. Don't leave money on the table. So as you can see, this is ranging, but also we have liquidity here, we have liquidity open here, so we could come make some maybe we grab some of this liquidity, as I still expect a little bit of lower prices from the dollar. So I would be cautious with my positions. We're taking new positions as we have as I said earlier, lots of news coming up this week. So for me, here, where's our these are fractal low, these are fractal high, right? A break of this would signify that, but because of this liquidity, if it was here, right, if it was taking a short position, I would gladly do it, because it is still a bearish market, right? So I expect more bears to be in it. So that's one thing, right? It is still a bearish market, and so taking that long from the 0.25 is riskier than taking the short from 0.75. I hope that makes sense. But this is also the quarterly open. I love this. This is the quarterly open. So from here, this place can act as support, as I would like perhaps maybe one more swipe down, and then maybe one more swipe down, as this would now become our fractal high. So break up this, and then you could start looking for those longs to take it back to the 0.75 level. Okay, guys, just patience. We've grabbed liquidity to our left, or we just need this probably dollar to be ready, and one more swipe down, maybe not, if that happens. But don't rush into the market. You could enter now, but if my advice would be, if you're trying to get in, you put your stop beneath this, right? You put your stop like this, right? if you like this kind of swing position, not as big as this, I mean somewhere around here, right? Do something like this, some of this sort. And if you like the risk to reward, if it makes sense, 1 to 2.5, perfect, right? So something like that. That's what you wait for. With gold, guys, what to say but buy, guys? Just look for buys on this stage as much as possible. We broke out last week, which I've been waiting for, but I wasn't in the market. As I said earlier, I was on the road, so I couldn't really be focused on the market. But quite beautiful price action. As we caught it from here, I know, I mean, if you're still holding that trade, balls of steel. But I actually closed mine at a 1 to 3.5 around here. So let's see what wants to happen. If you're looking for new positions, here you have liquidity low, here we have liquidity lows. So that's all you gotta look for. You just gotta look for those swipe of the lows, and then from there you can see here we have this consolidation. We pushed down into it, swipe the low, and now we started to buy again. So for me, it's just all about waiting for liquidation, and then you find that entry. Okay, liquidation, you find that entry, liquidation, you find that entry, because gold, all you just want to be doing at the moment is buying this. Okay, there's no reason to look for sales. There's no sales in play for the moment. Just look for buys, please. Okay, as I will be looking for us to make a new higher high, a new all-time high. And then with USD card, guys, with this, as you can see, guys, we were quite bullish, and now we've broken structure, and now we're bearish. So for me right now, I would like a deeper retracement, because if I take my PVD tool, right, and I put it like this, right, this is where my 0.5 level is. I would like maybe a retracement, take out some liquidity highs, and then maybe from the 3 monthly open we could start looking for those for the sells into the downside. With USD JPY, guys, the thing with JPY at the moment is JPY is weak, and we don't see strength coming back in anytime soon, because Japan likes their currency weak. I mean, they've always kept that kind of policy, and their new prime minister, she's not about to change it. So there's quite a lot, like when it comes to talking about the Japanese yen, it's very how do I say this, quite different from other currencies, because most of the currency, or other G10 currency, because most of the assets is owned by Japan. They own their assets, so not foreign investors. So because they own their assets, they can manipulate their assets, they can move it how they want, they can move it how they deem fit. So a lower currency for them doesn't really affect them. That's their policy, and they're fine with that. So don't think because it's so bearish it could not go down anymore. Oh, it's gonna go down. So yeah, that's just what I want you to know. But right now, you can see, if you look at this, we had this consolidation, right? This we're looking to grab all of this liquidity, but we took out some, and now we started to push down again. If we take this as our low, our high, you can see we've pushed into discount pricing, right? And we've grabbed liquidity. So all you just want is that change of character, perhaps above this. You can see right here above this area, above this monthly open, we could find that entry, and then from there, right, you could just look for scaling positions to make new higher highs. So watch that. As but first, this would be my first immediate target, and let's see if the Japanese yen wants to start buying this week. Okay guys, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Pardon for my absence last week, won't repeat itself.